Congratulations, everyone! You have successfully fallen your first domino, and with that, our week 1 is successfully completed. And now, the first domino is ready to fall over second one to begin another journey. But here, you are the leader. You are responsible. You have the ability to respond to whether or not let that first domino fall over another one to let these improvements coming to change your life. Anyways, in the week 1, you start your journey by getting to know about what is Flutter and why you should choose Flutter for app development. And then you learn step by step all of the fundamentals of Dart programming language along with how to get started with Flutter. And then along the way, you learn some basic widgets of Flutter and also how to use them in combination to build beautiful UIs in Flutter. That was not kind of beautiful UIs, but so far they were if you are totally a beginner. So let me remind you, the week 3 would be the realm of building complex UIs in Flutter. So this week is full of different kinds of widgets, and the interesting part is state management solutions and taking initiative in Firebase. And by the end of this week, we will be building together a complete notes application with Flutter and Firebase. So let this first domino fall over another to bring these new changes and improvements to yourself. So let's get started with the very first lesson. So up until now we have learned almost all the basics in our week 1. Now in this week, we will look forward to some complex topics of Flutter. So till now we work on single page of our Flutter application. Now what if we want to have separate pages in our Flutter applications? That's where the routes comes in. So what are the routes? In Flutter, the pages and screens are called routes. We can say the widgets because screens and pages are also called the stateless or stateful widgets. So consequently, the routes in Flutter are also called widgets. And in the native Android development, the screens and pages are activities, and in the iOS, it's called view controllers. Anyways, now the question is how to use routes in Flutter to achieve the goal of separate pages. For that purpose, Flutter SDK gives us a Navigator class free of cost. This class is used to navigate from one page to another and follows the stack method. So what it means by stack methods? Let's consider we have page 1 and page 2. And we navigate from page 1 to page 2. So here we are actually on the same page, but we add or place page 2 on top of page 1, just like the widgets in the stack widgets. So that's what it means by the stack method. And again, if we had the page 3 and we navigate from page 2 to page 3, so that page 3 will come on top of the page 2, and just like that, they are making the layers of pages just like the widgets in our stack widget. And you are already familiar with the behavior of stack widget in Flutter. So that was a bit theory, let's do it practically in our Flutter application. So that is our material app. So here, the widget returned by the home property is called the initial route or page. From here, we will start our navigation. Like from home page, we will navigate to the page 1, page 2 or page 3, just like that. And this home page is a stateful widget, and it has the build method to construct the specific UI on our emulator, and it constructs that scaffold, our mobile UI, an app bar with homepage text and center widget to make this elevated button in the center. And this elevated button is also a widget which has the onPress method, just like the icon button, but instead it accepts the child, and in the child we pass the text widget, and in the text widget we have the navigate string. But for now it is not working. So as we have talked about the Navigator class, this Navigator class has two most basic methods to go to the next page and then come back to the previous page. The two methods are push and pop. So like here we have the onPress property in our elevated button widget. So let's open it up here. So inside this, when the elevated button is pressed, so what will happen? We will do Navigator and we will call the first push method from this Navigator. So we got this push method from our Navigator class, and this accepts a context and the route. And on place of this route, we will pass the material page route, and it has the property of builder which accepts the context just like this. And here it will return a specific page. Like to open the body, just like this and return a specific page we want to navigate to. But we can also use the arrow function just like this to reduce our code. So here we will pass the page we want to navigate to. So here we have the page 1, page 2 and page 3. The page 1 contains one stateless widget with build method scaffold app bar. In the title of app bar we have the page 1, and the body of scaffold in the center we have the welcome to page 1, and in the page 2 we have the same page 2 welcome to page 2 and page 3 welcome to page 3. So we want to navigate to the page 1 just like that, and also put the semicolon in here. So that was a simple basic push method to navigate from one page to another page. Now Ctrl S to hot reload to see our code in action. So that we have used this navigator push method to navigate from this page, like from this home page, to the page 1. So now when we click this navigate, so this will take us to the page 1 and it is saying welcome to page 1. And to go back from this page we have this back arrow, which is basically the leading property of app bar. When it is not specified, it is by default the back arrow and work as the pop method of navigator. When we click this, this will take us back to our home page. So when we again click this, so in this stack, the page 1 comes on top of our home page, just like the widget in the stack. And when we go back, so this widget or page pops from the stack and we again back to our home page. And in the page 1, if you go in here, we have the property of leading. And when you put the container in here, just like that, Ctrl S to hot reload and again navigate to this page, so you can see we got nothing in here just because the back arrow is overridden by this simple container, and now we have no back arrow to go back in here. So again from here we can go back using the navigator pop method. So in here in the leading, we will remove this container from here and we'll place our own icon in here. Let's say we have the icon of this SE unit, and now let's wrap it with the widget just like that. And to make this icon clickable, we have the widget of gesture detector just like that, and it has a lot of properties like on tap, on double tap cancel, and a lot of these properties to make one widget clickable. So we will use only the on tap property of that, and here we will use the function and the arrow and the navigator dot pop the context, like to go back or pop this or remove this page from the stack. Now Ctrl S to hot reload and again click this SE unit, so this will again remove the page 1 from the stack and will navigate back us to the home page. So that was the leading property, which was set by default the back arrow. Like, let me comment this out. Ctrl S to hot reload, again go to the navigate, and you can see we got again the by default arrow in here. And when we uncomment this, so this will override and will give us our SE unit, which overrides the back arrow set it by default in this leading property of app bar. So let's again comment this out and Ctrl S to hot reload. Now again go back. So that was the basic methods to navigate from one page to another using this push method, and also pop to remove the page from the stack. Now however, if you need to navigate to the same page or screen in many parts of your application, this approach can result in the code duplication, like to put everywhere the navigator push and navigator pop. So this will result in the code duplication everywhere in our Flutter application. So what will be the solution for this? The solution for this will be to use the name route. To use the name routes, let's remove this push method from here just like that, and this navigator give us the same method of pushNamed. So let's remove this dot and access the pushNamed method from this navigator. So we got this pushNamed to have our name routes. This got the context, and here we will pass the name of our route. So let's say pass the page 1 and put the semicolon in here. Now how to start the application, or you can also Ctrl S to hot reload. Now when you press this navigate, so nothing will happen. Open up the run console and it is saying could not find the generator for the route settings, page 1 and null in the widgets app stat. So it means we are just doing the push named and passing the context page 1. So what is this page 1? where it is navigating us. So there is no context in here to where to navigate and what is this page 1. So to make this work, we have the property of routes in our material app, which accepts a map of string and the widget builder, and you are already familiar with the map collection data type. So open the body of routes and it accepts the value string. Let's say our value was page 1 just because we are navigating to the page 1, and the key will be the widget builder, which accepts the context, and this context is build context, and we can open the body just like that, and we can also use the arrow function, and in here we will pass our page name, page 1, just like that. And when we want to navigate to the page 2 or page 3, put comma in here, Ctrl D to duplicate this and change their name to page 2 and 3, just like that. So we got these pages, their key and their value. So what this routes means? So it means when a name route just like this, pushNamed, is pushed from Navigator pushNamed like this, so that specific route name like the page 1 will be looked up in here in the routes. And if the name is present, so the widget builder is used to construct a material page route and navigate us to the appropriate page or screen. So like when this is called, so this will check in the map of routes of our material app. So we have this page 1, so this value of page or widget builder will construct a material page route and will navigate us to the specific page which is specified in here. So now run this again, and again click this navigate, so we got this page 1 again just like this, and we can again go back in here and this will work the same. And when we pass in here the page 2, now Ctrl S to hot reload and navigate, so we got the page 2, and when we pass the page 3 and Ctrl S to hot reload, go back and go again, so this time we got the page 3. So this time we are navigating to the another page using the only name, and this is not causing any duplication, but already our pages are specified in here and we are simply using their name, and it will check in the map if it found, so this will navigate us to the appropriate page specified in here. So that's how this routes and pushName works. But here we have one more property in our Flutter in our material app, that is OnGenerateRoutes. So let's comment these routes in here, and we have this OnGenerateRoute. But before going for this OnGenerateRoute, let me show you one more thing. Let's comment also this out and uncomment this. We have this home page. To make this home page our initial route, it's already initial route by this home, but what if we want to have the initial route something like this, like to put slash in here and pass it in here. So let's remove this home from here and copy this from here and paste it like context and arrow and paste it in here. So that is our initial route on this slash. So in here we have one more property of initial route, so we'll pass our initial route this slash. Now again, how to start the application, so our initial route will still be our home page. You can see we got this home page, but again if we pass our initial route the page 1, and how to start our application, so this time this will give us the page 1 as the initial route. You can see in here, so our initial route is this, and again how to start the application, so that's how we specify our initial route also in our Flutter material app. So also let's comment this out and uncomment this OnGenerateRoute. So this OnGenerateRoute quite work a bit similar to the routes property. This route generator callback is used when the app is navigated to the named route, just like when the app is navigated to some named route. So the generator callback will used and will give us some appropriate route. So let's go on top in here, and this OnGenerateRoute has the type of route of dynamic, the function which accepts a parameter of route settings. So to work with OnGenerateRoute callbacks, let's create a class in here. That will be a class, and let's name our class OnGenerateRoutes. So we got the class in here. Now inside this, we are going to have a method of the same type which is showing in here, the route dynamic, which accepts the route settings. So open the body of this class. This is not a stateless or a stateful widget, but a simple regular class which is going to have the method of. So we got the static method of route dynamic type, and it accepts the parameter of route settings. So what is this route settings? These route settings provide us useful data for constructing a route like name and the argument. So here we will open the body of that method, and here we will use the switch statement. You are already familiar with this switch statement which we have learned section of Dart. So here we will switch on the settings.name, the name of the route, and we will open the body of our switch, and we will say if the case was page 1, so we will return the material page route, and the builder is going to accept the context, and in the arrow we will again return the page 1, just like that. And again copy this and paste it 2 more times for the page 2 and page 3. This will be page 2, this will be page 3, and the same page 2 and page 3. And here right after this, if none of the case is satisfied, this will be a default and open body, and this is going to return a simple scaffold, just like that, if none of the case is satisfied. So here we will copy the class name and we'll paste it in here and simply access the route from here. So we got the OnGenerateRoutes just like that. We just access this route method from this class just because that's static method, so we don't need to create the instance or object of that class to access this method from here. This is static, so simply we make this static and directly access it from the class. So how to start the application, and we got an error. The global key was used multiple times. That is because we have to uncomment our home also and run this, just because we need our initial home page to navigate it from somewhere in the page. So we got this home page again, and when we click this navigate, so this navigate us to page 3. So what happens in here? Again the same thing happen. This OnGenerateRoute is also called when a pushNamed or named route is called. So it simply call this route from here, which is route dynamic, and here we are switching if it got the name of page 1 in the name route in here. So simply navigate our user to the page 1, and if it got page 2, simply send the user to the page 2. If it got page 3, simply navigate to the page 3. So you can use the navigator push method if you have only few pages in your Flutter application. But in case if you got so many pages in your Flutter application, so you must prefer to use the OnGenerateRoutes or the named routes and simply control them using the OnGenerateRoutes just like that. And you can also do this with these routes. So that was it for some basic and advanced routes in Flutter.